All right, so I got a little update for you guys. It was exciting to hear Matt talk about automations and the things he's building out with our current system. And there were a few little things that he mentioned that he said, oh, well, you can do this and follow boss automations, but if you want to do this, then you have to use Zapier. Well, I think you're going to like this conversation. That's all I'm going to say. So what is happening with Automations 2.0? Let's go through a little update. First thing is it's one workflow, okay? We're not looking at automations and action plans anymore. We're combining them into one visual workflow. So now we're not getting rid of action plans right now, so don't panic if you've got a bunch of them running, but we are combining that list into one workflow, so you're building it in one place and you're not going back and forth. How many of you guys have action plans set up and all it does is add a tag? Or all it does is remove a tag? Yeah. So you don't have to do that anymore. So you'll be able to drag and drop those actions into the workflow and have those things taken care of. There's some enhanced functionality, and I'm going to walk you through this functionality and some of the kind of use cases that I'm thinking through for my own business when I'm talking about this. So one is true-false branching. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is if this is true, then do this action. But if it's false, then do this action, right? So that could be it. So it's a branch where you can build out different scenarios depending on what's happening with the lead. So for example, maybe you have somebody come back to your website, and if they come back to your website and they've looked at more than 5 properties, then do this thing. If they come back to your website and they've looked at 25 properties, then do this thing. Raise the exclamation point a little bit higher, right? So it gives you the opportunity to build out branches and circumstances and handle leads differently based off of one trigger, one instance of something happening. Scheduled email. This is really more of a options for how to send your email. So right now we can go through, we can say, wait 2 days and then send this email. Well, this will give you the ability to wait 2 days and then send this email on the next business day during business hours or after office hours, but don't send it on Christmas Day.
That's agreed.
Right? So that's different. It gives you more control of when things are happening and when they're not happening. Or send this email on this custom date, right? So think about how we can use that situation. Send this email on the date that the home inspection report is due. Send this email on their home anniversary. Send this email on their birthday. It's more capabilities, the ability for you guys to run your business and automate more actions to stay in front of your database better, right? All right, so then time delay in minutes and hours. Instead of just a time delay in days, now you don't have to run zaps just to wait 5 minutes to do something. Right? I feel the same way because I have a lot of zaps running just to wait 15 minutes to do something. Yes, so that is huge, and I love that opportunity. So you can think about things like if this lead hasn't been called, there are no outbound calls within this amount of time, then rip it away from that lazy agent and give it to another person, right? So there's different things that you can do there. The ability to automatically update a custom field. So I've got a great example of this one. Think about deal stage is changed to closed. Who uses deals? Why don't the rest of you use deals? Seriously, learn about deals. Deals are amazing. This is not what I'm supposed to talk about right now, but I'm telling you what, go through and figure out your deals because it's just such an amazing way to keep track of workflows. All right? We use deal boards for recruiting. We use deal boards for listings that are coming up so I can see how many listings are coming up in what month. Use deal boards. They're fantastic. But anyway, back to that. Deal stage changed to close, and it's a buyer. I want to update the custom field. Maybe they're a past client. Maybe they bought 10 houses with me. I want to update the custom field of their home anniversary. So then I can know when to send that card in the mail later on, right? But I don't have to have an admin go back and update that data, right? So updating custom fields, that's a big one. And that gives you an opportunity. There's like a million things that you can do with custom fields. Like, I can't wait to see what you guys all do with this opportunity. All right, and then the ability to create a deal. I'm also really excited about this one, again, because I love the deal board. So the ability to create a deal. When this thing happens, create a deal. You can start keeping track of your pipeline better. Maybe it's when the appointment outcome, I don't know actually if this is a trigger, I probably shouldn't use this as an example. Appointment outcome is set to met. Create a deal card to put it on my listing board that I have a listing coming up or a listing opportunity I need to keep track of, or there's a million things you could do with that. All right, so that all sound pretty good? Yeah? You can kind of think through like some of these things you're gonna be able to automate in your business and how it's gonna be easier to use. So I feel a little bit jaded because this was in my slides. But wait, there's more. We've spent a lot of time talking about how to stay in front of our database, how to re-engage our database, how to remarket them, how to bring people to the forefront of how to work them, get them to come back, get them to re-register, give a new phone number, inquire on a property. We're doing all of this stuff. We're remarketing, we're using MailChimp, we're using automations and action plans and tasks and client events and direct mail and all of these things, newsletters and smart lists and tags, we're adding them, we're removing them. We're doing all of these things to bring people back to us, right? To get them to come back into our ecosystem. And when you have a large database, which I hope all of you are in the process of growing, if you haven't already grown it, you start to find things where it's like, oh my goodness, I had this lead, and then they came into the system, and then they re-registered again through this other lead source, but they were in this pond over here, and nobody ever reached out to them. Has anybody had that happen? So why don't we serve the people that we're working so hard in our database to come back as a new opportunity? Not as a contact card in our database, but as a new opportunity, as if it's a new lead, right? Well, with enhanced web activity information in Automations 2.0, we'll be able to do that. So I'm going to tell a little story. So let's just say, I've been working on making my way out of production. My team is doing great. I'm not really selling a lot of houses anymore. Try not to sell them at all. But I have this past client list, right? I have a pretty big past client list, and I have them all in a pot. Well, let's just say one of them makes an inquiry on, I don't know, realtor.com, and it makes its way to me. Well, right now, if that were to happen, nobody's going to get notified. Nothing's going to happen. But that's an opportunity. That's a really great opportunity. Now, the original source might be Ylopo. The news source might be realtor.com. Hopefully that wouldn't happen because you've got them set up on a smart list and you've got them set up on drip campaigns and they're getting property searches. But we all know sometimes people click around, they look at stuff. But if that person was treated as a new opportunity, then it could be routed as a new lead, right? Without changing the original source data. So right now, if that were to happen, a new property inquiry comes in, maybe the condition is that it's a past client, then maybe I reassign it to my money pond and I change the stage to lead and, I hope for the best, right? Well, now, with Automations 2.0, and it's not going to look like this, you guys. I'm just trying to give you an example. You can take a picture still. That's fine. But it's trying to give you an example of what this is going to do, what this is going to replace. You guys all familiar with lead flow and your ability to create distribution rules for leads based off of source, tag? Well, that source, those tags, all of that stuff are going to be coming in from that new inquiry, not from the static contact information that's in your database. And that is a really powerful thing, because now you can redistribute this lead as a round robin, or it goes to a pond. Your agents are notified. It changes the stage to lead. It's got the tags that come in from your lead provider, and now those tags can trigger through how that lead is distributed. Does this sound powerful? Do you guys get this? I know sometimes it can be hard to like grasp all these ideas, but you have a second chance now at lead flow because of the enhanced web information. I have 2 minutes if anyone has any questions.
This was touched on in a previous panel, but can you go a little into the benefits of doing your like bulk, like database-wide market update emails, not from something like MailChimp, but you mentioned like smart lists and stuff, but can you go a little deeper on that?
Yeah, I can. So about sending emails through Follow-Up Boss versus, okay, so I wish I could like show you on a computer right now, but I'll just describe it. So if you're in your Follow-Up Boss and you send an email out as a template email or a batch email, you have reporting behind that, right? So I'll give you an example. I was advertising for an open house for a new construction home, and this builder is a little bit intense. He's intense. So I'm advertising this open house. I send the email out to everybody that has the tag of that zip code in my database, and then I can see who opened it, right? Who clicked on the link to the video, and who opted out, and all those things. So once you're open on that viewing report, you can create a call list. So now what I might do, well, we did do this last week, is we went through and we called the people that had actually opened the email. And the script is just, hey, I was just wondering if you got my email. We're hosting an open house this weekend at 123 Main Street, and I'd love to see you there. Well, you know they got your email because they opened your email. But it just gives you one more step where you can create that. I mean, you can see opens and all those other things within MailChimp, but now you can actually act on them. You can create a call list.
Do you guys have a timeline yet?
I knew somebody was going to ask you. No, just kidding.
Sorry.
Yes, we do. Version 1 of Automations 2.0 is looking at like the end of Q3. So that's where we're at right now. Our team has been working really hard on making sure that this is going to provide massive value for you guys. Actually, if Caroline's back there, I really think we need to give her a shout out because she's been busting her hump on it, and I'm sure that there's others back there too. But yeah, it's been a lot of work, and it's going to be really great. Well, hopefully she heard me anyway.